Good day, everybody. This is Michael Levitis, JurisQ.com, where we bring you different attorneys, different practice areas, and various states to talk about legal FAQs. Things that are practical that people ask of their attorneys. We want to educate the public, and today we have with us back Sinayskaya Yuniver, a commercial real estate attorney. Welcome back, Stephen.
Thank you for having me back, Michael. Thank you.
Stephen, you know, sometimes when people go into large projects, they take on investors. And by the way, that is not a simple task because you actually owe fiduciary duty to these investors, right? You have control of their money, of their funds, and you have to make best efforts to maximize for them returns. Let's talk about whom can you have as your investor, individual, company, and also what's hanging in the air sometimes is accredited investor. Sometimes the investor needs to be accredited. What does that mean? Please explain.
So this is a pretty in-depth and complicated kind of process. And if you are a builder, this is definitely or building your first project, or you buy some vacant land and you want to invest some money, or you want to be an investor in a project, you want to make sure that you're protected. A lot of times people come to me and their families left them some money, or they made some money, let's say through a personal injury action, or they made some money through their business and they want to invest in real estate because real estate in New York continuously goes up. It's a great investment tool. Where can they invest in order to protect the money that they have?
Right.
And also, if you're a builder, or if you're looking for investors to build even more properties, or you're just buying land in order to rent it to out people, any kind of process where there's some kind of investment vehicle is governed by the Securities and Exchange Commission rules, which potentially could have, if done improperly, jail time. You want to make sure that the punishments and the penalties of doing something wrong, even if you didn't know, are pretty severe. So my suggestion is always make sure you read through an operating agreement. There's certain sections, it's called a subscription agreement. It's in addition to an operating agreement when you're an investor, which outlines certain rules, who an investor is, that they, let's say, have more than $1 million, and that this is not their last currency. You don't want to be you could still invest, but there needs to be proper disclosures. So usually it's somebody has a net worth of over $1 million, has invested prior, and has a SEC knowledge, or has other operating agreements, or is a company in an LLC. These are very specific points. But let's say you just are an accountant or work for a company and you're able to save a couple of $1,000s, tens of thousands, hundred thousands, whatever amount, and you want to invest into a friend's project or somebody else's project. You want to make sure that you review the operating agreement, that not only that you can be considered an accredited investor, that it won't screw up the process of loans being taken out when the property is refinanced, but you want to make sure that the rules that protect your money are there as well. And that's the most important part. Accredited or not accredited, you're reviewing the operating agreement that outlines the rules, that outlines how the manager or the owner of the real estate gets to spend that money. You want to make sure that you're fully protected and you have your voice. That same time, if you're the builder, developer looking for investors, you want to make sure that the person you're borrowing money from won't be able to veto your voice, and your ideas and your project is protected as well.
Okay, very good. To summarize, Steve, what you said, tell me if I'm wrong, taking on investors, it's a very big responsibility. And like you said, it's very important that you cross all the T's, dot all the I's, because later on, look, if things go well, everybody's happy, you're going to have no problems. But if things go sour, and they could, I mean, right, it's an investment, you never know, you may be on a hook if you have done something improper vis-a-vis your investors. That's why it's important to, like you said, to make sure the contract gives all the right disclaimers, make sure you have the right type of investors, not to face civil or criminal liability later on. And same thing for the builders. You will be protected. If you are managing the property, you are correctly compensated, and so on and so forth. That's why it's so important not to just write a deal on a piece of a napkin, not on a handshake, but actually have a real, valid contract that addresses all concerns. And Stephen, you as a commercial real estate attorney, you are fully competent to draft or review such a contract. You have done it before, and you do it now. So I highly urge, if anybody is going into a deal, talk to an attorney, somebody of a statute of Stephen Yuniver. The phone number is on the bottom of the screen.
Before we go really quickly, you mentioned on a napkin the other day. I had somebody come in with an actual
I saw you
contract on a paper towel.
I saw you smile. Okay, do tell. I want to hear.
I'm sitting here in the office,
Okay.
and he's actually an investor in Staten Island, and he came to me and he goes, "I want to sue my partner." I'm like, "Okay, well, what happened with the purchase of the property?" And then he takes out a napkin, and it was written on a napkin.
Wow.
So, unfortunately, what was written I couldn't use because a napkin is just a piece of paper. But it's unfortunate that trust goes a long way. Relationships are important,
Right.
but also just having a piece of paper that you know everybody's protected is even more important. Do it the right way.
Yep. You know what? This sounds like a basis for some kind of a movie, because we've heard of huge companies that were started. The idea was started on a piece of a napkin, but doesn't mean it's always enforceable, right? And that's
Correct.
why you come in to make sure that you have a contract that is enforceable. Okay,
Right.
Steve, thank you so much for your time. I know you're very busy. You're between your closings, your clients, contract review, title review. We appreciate your time because you are here to educate the public, to let us know what's out there in the universe of commercial real estate. But of course, if anybody has specific questions, you're buying a property, you're selling a property or leasing, contact an attorney like Stephen Yuniver. As we said, the phone number and information is on the bottom of the screen. Thank you so much. We're going to bring it back later on for more questions on commercial real estate. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.